Hello and welcome back, and congratulations on making it to lesson 100. Screen high five. You've worked hard, and I'm so proud of all the practice and progress you've made. I hope you're proud of yourself too, and I hope you are enjoying the skills you've learned for making music at the piano. Today, we're going to be learning how to improvise an accompaniment part for our duet, La Cinquantaine. Let's come to the piano to get started. So, accompaniments are usually built on chords. And this song, La Cinquantaine, is in the key of A minor. So, what is the one chord? A one chord's always built on Do, then skip up to Me, So. So these three keys will make our one chord. Now, we're also going to need the four chord. For a four chord, we usually move Me up to Fa and So up to La. Since we're in a minor key, we don't go a whole step. If we were in A major, we'd go up to F sharp, but we're in A minor. So we use La, which is a half step up. That makes this really nice sounding four chord. Okay, again, the one chord is right here. In A minor, we have all white keys. And then we come up here. Well, I said all white keys, but there is one exception to that. When we do the 5-7 chord, sometimes in minor we use G, but for the 5-7 chord we use G sharp because that gives us that quintessential 5-7 sound. Okay? Without that G sharp, it would sound like this. Isn't that classic 5-7 sound that we're going for? Okay? Let's try all of these chords with the right hand. We're going to use right hand for the chords today. So first try the one chord. Does Do, Me, So. We're going to use blocked chords today. Find the one chord. Now, find the four chord. To find the four chord, leave your finger 1 on A, but shift all your other fingers up. Then you use 1, 3, 5. These three keys make the four chord. Then shift your fingers back again to the one chord. And let's just practice going back and forth. Four chord, one chord. Pause the video, and I just want you to get really comfortable going back and forth from one chord to four chord, back and forth a few times, then press play to go on. Now let's practice going back and forth between the one chord and the 5-7 chord. So to have your thumb reach that black key, I recommend shifting your fingers in. Don't contort your hand to get that black key. Just shift forward. That will feel a lot better, probably. Okay, now pause the video and practice going back and forth between the 1 and 5-7 chord. Then press play to go on. Now, when I say improvise an accompaniment, what I mean is you're going to take the chords of the song or piece and use those chord symbols to come up with a fun accompaniment pattern. And I think for this song, where it's a happy kind of celebration song, maybe they would have used it for dancing, let's make it a bouncy staccato feel. And to do that, let's have the left hand down here in this A minor pentascale. Here's my middle C. So my right hand is here, my left hand is down here. The root of the one chord is A. And by the root, that just means the lowest note. One chord. Can you try this? So your left hand plays A, the right hand plays a one chord. A, one chord, A, one chord. You're just going to go back and forth playing each one staccato. Now you try. Let's do it again. 1 and 2 and your turn. So while whoever is playing the melody, if you're a duet partner, 1 and 2 and while they play that, the accompaniment is playing 1 and 2 and. Try it one more time. Let's do it together. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and. Okay, great. Now, in the next measure, we have a four chord. Now, the right hand is going to play this, which we practiced just a second ago. The left hand's going to play the 4, which is, now, the reason it's called the 4 chord is 1, 2, 3, 4 is the root of that chord, which we'll learn more about later, why it's the root. But if you just go up to the 4th note of the scale, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. That's called the root of the chord. So you're going to play D with your left hand. You're going to play the 4 chord with your right hand. D, 4 chord, D, 4 chord. Now you try. Now let's go back to measure 1. We have 1 chord, then 4 chord, 4 chord. The left hand's just playing A, D, D, A, 1 chord, A, 1 chord, D, 4 chord, D, 4 chord. Pause the video and I'd like you to practice that, going back and forth between those 2 chords, then press play to go on. Now, just looking in the score, you can see which chord to play. In measure 1, we have a 1 chord, 1 and 2, and then a 4 chord, and 2, back to 1 chord, back to 4 chord, then 1 chord. Now, if there's no symbol, you stay on the same chord. So in measure 6, we continue on the 1 chord, then we finally get a 5-7 chord. Now, the root of the 5-7 chord is the 5th note of the scale. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5. So if you see a 5-7 chord, you have to play the 5th note of the scale for your root, that's E, and the right hand will play the 5-7 chord for 2 measures. E 5-7, E 5-7, E 5-7, E 5-7. Let's try that together. Play E with your left hand, 5-7 with your right hand, and we go back and forth. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now let's put that together from back to measure 5. We have 1, 2 and 1 and 2. Now to the 5-7, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Pause the video and practice the chords for line 2, measures 5 through 8, then press play to go on. Now we're ready for line 3. Once again, we have 1 chord to the 4 chord, to the 1 chord, to the 4 chord. Let's practice that together, slowly. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 4 chord, and 2 and to 1 chord, and 2 and to 4 chord, and 2 and line 4 is very similar to line 2, but a little different too. We have 1 chord, 1 chord. This time only 1 measure of 5-7. Then we go back to 1 chord. And to make it sound extra cool, in the last measure, remember we are improvising an accompaniment, which means there's no one way you could do it. If you don't want to do this 1 and 2 and, you could do 1 and a 2 and 1 and a, I mean, you know, there's no one right or wrong way to do it. I just came up with this rhythm because I thought it would sound cool. For the ending, I want to go 1 and 2 and. Come down and play this low A, 1 and 2 and, to make it sound extra cool. Okay, but if you don't like that, you could go 1 and 2 and. I just think it doesn't sound very exciting to end on that chord. I want to end like hands together, 1 and 2 and. That's what I'm doing. I'm using finger 3, just coming down to this low A, 1 and 2 and. So I recommend something like that. So now remember, when you have these chords mastered, you can play this with a duet partner. Your duet partner will be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, while the accompaniment goes 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and it should sound really cool together. The tricky part is staying together. You have to really listen to each other so your notes fit together. You have to be pretty confident too. If you're struggling or pausing, it's going to throw off your duet partner. In music, the notes always flow. You can't really pause to think about it or it messes up the other person. So you've got to really practice hard so when you play with your duet partner, the notes flow all the way from start to finish. If you don't have a duet partner, you can play along with the practice album. If you want to play the accompaniment, then you need to use the practice track that plays the melody. So choose the melody practice track so you play the accompaniment while the track plays the melody. Let me show you what that would sound like playing along with the melody track. So I'm going to play the melody practice track while I play the accompaniment. You're going to hear 4 clicks and then you can start. 2, 3, 4. Great job learning to improvise an accompaniment for La Cinquantaine. And once again, congratulations on making it through lesson 100. I hope you enjoy playing this duet with a friend or family member or with me on the practice track. Happy music making, and see you next time in lesson 101. Congratulations! You made it to lesson 100. Yeah, you've been working really hard. Keep up the great work. Whee!